Hopefully you can hear me.
Hi, Alison.
Okay, yes, brilliant. Okay, tonight I wanted to share something a little bit different, if everyone can hear me okay. Previously, we've shared a lot about our daughter, one of our daughters actually, and her chronic health issues. Tonight I wanted to actually take everybody in confidence tonight and share something a little bit different about our other daughter. And I'd ask that you keep this confidential. We actually adopted our older of the two girls about 6 years ago now, not quite, about 5 years ago. And in that transition, she was exposed to a lot of things, and she struggles with a lot of things emotionally. So our testimonial tonight actually was going to come from her and us about her and about her journey and about how the oils have helped her, because most people would know our story in terms of Ellen and the health issues that she has, whereas actually a big, huge part of our journey is about our daughter Jess and the journey that she has every day. So we adopted Jess when she was just over a year old. Well, we knew about her then. We didn't get her within our family then, but we knew about her then, and she has come into our family and been absolutely incredible. We love every tiny part of her, but she really does struggle with some of the emotional things in terms of the emotional ups and downs. So when she was first with us, she could literally process extreme upset or extreme happiness. And there's elements of her that still very much can do those very, 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 very strong emotions and all the things that come with that. But there's also parts of her now that can recognize some of those emotions in between. In the care of her younger sister, who does have lots of health issues herself, we see some very, very gentle and very giving parts of our older daughter in that sense. But she really has a passion about the oils. She understands that oils really help her. She's only 6, and what she's found on her journey in just the last year is there's some oils that actually make a fundamental difference to her understanding on the people around her actually, and how they interact and how she feels about that interaction. So she asked us about 9 months ago to film her on her favourite oil. It was a one-time take. It was literally her giving her pure heart about how she feels about one of the oils, and we felt it was relevant to share that with you because this is her perspective and she's just 6. So hopefully this will play and you can see Jess.
I don't think we've got sound there.
No sound your end. Okay, we'll try again.
We just tested this a second ago.
We tested it with each other and it worked. Let's try again. Sorry.
Sorry?
I can translate if it needs, because I know this clip because I'm very proud of it.
Can you hear that?
No.
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 Oh, you're my technology wingman. What are you doing?
You have to transcribe.
She basically says, this is an oil called Balance. If you need balance, you ask your mum and dad to help you, but it has to come from the doTERRA range because they have balance. It makes people calm down if you're very upset. So it smells kind of sweet. So you put 1 little drop. It's kind of green when you use a lot of it. You rub your wrists together and breathe deeply. Then it makes you calm down. The next time with the other oils, we're going to do lavender. That was
brilliant.
So sorry that didn't work, but it was very much her take on stuff, and the oils have been incredible for her emotional balance. That was really the strength of the story we wanted to give, and it's probably something we haven't really shared before. We very much focused on Ellen's needs and what that's meant, but actually for Jess, it's been life-changing too. yeah, she would want to share that story, so we shared that story. So I had to translate. We might try and do that at the weekend at Stratford or something, and make it come across better.
Yeah, that would be great, actually. Thanks for that, Ali. It was really good. So what's been the major benefit of, is it balance that she's mainly been using?
With Jess, it's been balance has given her the place to take on information or process information when her emotions are very, very high and very strong. And they're not emotions I've really come across before with other children, or even in the field I've had in sort of criminal psychology and working with children with difficulties. Hers are very, very strong, particularly directed at us. So it's been really helpful to us to sort of have an oil that really works for her, like literally within sort of 5 minutes of applying it. Balance really calms her into the place of at least just listening. It might not be that she'll change her whole opinion, but listening and calming and not kicking a door down or the sort of things a child with high emotions might do in order to get themselves heard. So yeah, it's been calming for her, and she knows it is. She knows it works for her.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, thanks for sharing that, Ali. That's really great. And maybe if we can get the video to work,
we can try that.
That'd be great. Really, really good. So thanks for that. That's absolutely brilliant. So there you go. Another really powerful testimonial for balance. I want to go now to Mandy Coates. So Mandy, let's just unmute you. So
hello,
Mandy.
Hi, how are you all?
Very well, thanks.
Good.
So tell us what you want to share with us this evening.
Well, my story is actually with Deep Blue. I've had the Deep Blue oil, which comes in the Home Essentials kit, as well as the Deep Blue roll-on and the Deep Blue rub. So I've got bulging discs, and I've had those for best part of, it's coming up for 3 years actually. Had that diagnosed from the doctors with an MRI scan. The doctors said the usual thing, painkillers. I said no. Will you have an operation? I said no, because I didn't want to be a guinea pig, and I didn't want the surgeon to slip a knife and end up in a wheelchair. And I said I'll carry on doing what I'm doing with the osteopath. I started to use Deep Blue back in October. Didn't mention anything to my osteopath at the time, and in the November trip, because I go every month, she started to notice difference with the muscles, how they were starting to relax, and my movement, because with bulging discs, as you probably know, your muscles go fairly tight. And then I progressed on to the Deep Blue rub, and in the November and December visits, she has noticed a real significant difference, and instead of going once a month, I now go every 7 weeks to her. So my next visit is now the 27th of February, and she can't believe how this has actually changed my well-being and health, really, in terms of that. And I actually find that the cream is excellent, because I actually use it the night before, and in the bath in the morning you still get that warm feeling when you go in the bath with it, and I just love it. So from that point of view, I don't have any painkillers, and I do thoroughly recommend it because it's helped me.
Fantastic. And what was the condition? I didn't quite catch what you were using.
Bulging discs in the back. So I've got bulging discs that are actually going on to the nerves and so my nerve in the leg, and the left leg in particular, will sometimes get affected. So I'll have either a hot sensation or it will actually go numb, the leg, but I haven't had so much of that since using this Deep Blue. And it also makes your muscles contract and go tight. So that's actually helped me no end, I have to say. Thoroughly recommend it, and I won't be without it now. Excellent.
Okay, well listen, thanks very much for sharing that. So you use both the oil and the rub, is that right?
Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah, alternatively, yeah. I do put a few little drops in a bath as well of the Deep Blue, and I also use the cream as well.
Okay. So, and do you use them at the, like, do you put oil on first and then the rub, or a different time?
Yes, I do. I mean, I start with, because I have got sensitive skin, I did actually use the fraction naked coconut oil with the natural oil, and I actually put a few drops of that in the bath as well. But I found also the ease, and at work sometimes I actually do have the rollerball as well. So if I do have a little bit, I can just use the rollerball. It's quite easy.
Excellent. Okay, well listen, thanks for that, Mandy. That's a really good little product testimonial there for Deep Blue both the oil and the rub, and using fractionated coconut oil to dilute, or using the roller ball with the blend with the coconut oil. So that's great. Thanks very much, Mandy. That's fantastic. Excellent. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Let's go straight to our next testimonial, which is from Belinda Mould. Belinda. Oh, hold on. Let me just unmute you. Here we go. Oh.
Okay. Hi.
Hi,
I'm quite new to doTERRA, so I have used essential oils for about 20 years.
Right.
And just started using the oils in November last year. And I saw something that a fellow member had posted online about frankincense oil getting rid of warts. And he said the warts were gone in 5 days. And I thought, no, he's making that up. It's not real. But my daughter has actually been to the doctor for some Melaleuca warts. And I thought, well, I'll try it and see what happens. And I was absolutely shocked. Just a bit of frankincense oil on a big wart, and it was gone 5 days later. And then I spoke to Alison Thomas, and she said they'd used Melaleuca very successfully on Melaleuca warts.
Yeah.
So I combined the frankincense and Melaleuca, and she had warts all over her body. And that worked really well. And there was one wart that just wasn't going. So I used some oregano with a bit of fractionated coconut oil on this one particular wart. And that one took about 8 weeks to go. But prior to that, some of the warts she'd actually had for 18 months. So to get rid of a wart in 2 months was quite good going. And as I say, other warts went away in the space of 5 days. So I was really impressed. Yeah.
That's amazing. And just a matter of interest, have you tried other oils for that purpose previously?
For warts? No. Yeah. This is the first time.
Okay. So how would you say doTERRA's oil, because you've obviously been using oils for 20 years, you said, so you must be quite, how do the doTERRA oils compare to what you were used to before?
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I bought some Body Shop tea tree for getting rid of acne on your face, because I've struggled with spots on my face since I was a teenager, and it did absolutely nothing. And I used it morning and evening every single day. It did nothing. I've had a couple of blemishes, and I've tried the doTERRA Melaleuca oil, and it's worked straight away. So it's been amazing. Big difference. Yeah.
So big difference, yeah?
Yes.
So you're now convinced you made the right decision?
I know I did, yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's really fantastic. So 20 years experience of essential oils, and you're getting really good results with Melaleuca, frankincense, and a bit of oregano on a difficult one that wouldn't be removed. So that's your main product experiences so far, yeah?
Oh no! I've got a bit of everything. Okay. I'm building it up every month. I buy some new products. I'd just like to mention the Deep Blue. Completely different condition. I've got a customer who's got sinus headaches, and he basically has had these headaches solidly for years, and he's on a lot of painkillers for them. And I just sent him the little Deep Blue rub sample. And he's been using that over the last week, and he was absolutely shocked. He said, I can't believe it, I've got no more headaches. Wow. I did research it and sort of check what was recommended for sinus headaches. And he just happened to send a Deep Blue, and I said to him, put that on your temples. And from being in severe pain, he's had a bit of relief. So
that's really good.
Hopefully his next step is buying some Deep Blue.
Yeah. So that's absolutely brilliant. So any more? Well, I might as well see if we can get any more while we're here.
You want some more?
Yeah. Any other any other experiences with any other oils?
Yeah, this is quite personal. I don't really talk about it, but I'm a smoker, and I'm trying to give up smoking.
Right.
And I read on a post that On Guard is good for combating your nicotine cravings. So I'm using that, and you'll see me on Saturday at Stratford with my bottle of On Guard to combat my cravings. But yeah, it's going well so far.
Excellent, good. How long have you been stopped?
I'm not stopped. I've just cut down massively.
Right. Okay.
But on Saturday, I'm not having any cigarettes, so we'll see how it goes on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. That's really amazing. So well done for cutting down. I think black pepper as well is good for nicotine addiction. I think
it is. Yeah, I think it is.
So that's excellent. Well, listen, thank you very much for sharing those excellent product testimonials. That's really great. Thanks very much, Belinda. Excellent. So we've got one more, I think, now. So I want to go to Coriine Peacock. Coriine. Oh, she's still muted. Let me just unmute you.
Just on that.
Yep.
Hi everybody. Wanted to talk about LLV, TerraZyme and PB Assist. I joined in April last year, and I bought the LLV as soon as possible after that, and I've been using it ever since. A lot of people say that what they experience when they use it is an increase in energy. Well, I didn't notice that at all. It didn't seem to make any difference to the amount of energy I got. I seemed to have quite a lot of energy, and that was fine. But the first thing I noticed was an improvement in my eyesight, to the extent I had to have a new set of lenses for my glasses. So that was good. And then everything else, was sort of going along. And another couple of months later, I'm thinking to myself, well, is this really making a difference or not? And then I noticed that actually what was happening was really quite subtle. Now I'm gluten, dairy and soya and several other things free because I've had gut problems for a long time. And what I noticed was that it was really helping my gut, and it was much more comfortable. I was much more confident. Having a settled gut gave me the confidence to do things that normally would give me some anxiety perhaps, or a knotting in the stomach. And so I would have been using a lot of like nervous energy to do things, where I was finding I was doing things or being asked to do extra things or step out of my comfort zone, and I was able to do all these things with ease, where I would have had a problem before. So I started a new job in March last year, which has required me to do a lot of things where I've been challenged and to do things to step out of my comfort zone. And I've absolutely smashed it, no problem whatsoever. And I'm sure that it's because of the combination of the LLV, the TerraZyme, and the PB Assist. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. And so what made you decide to? Had you supplemented your diet before?
Oh yes, I took probiotics from the well-known store on the high street, and and I took a vitamin supplement as well on a regular basis.
Okay.
What was considered to be a high-quality vitamin supplement, but this has really given me the calmness of the stomach that gives you that sort of, like balance does, gives you that grounding to be able to take on new tasks and step out of my comfort zone and do things that I would have found really challenging before, or I'd have had to use a lot of nervous energy to be able to do, which would, I suppose, yes, it would lower my energy, but I would struggle to recover from, whereas now I just take it all in my stride. Yes, fantastic.
Okay, brilliant. So would you say that LLV, TerraZyme and PB Assist have been more effective than the supplements you were taking previously?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Excellent. So you're happy to recommend them to customers and other people, yeah?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that's great. I think it's really good. I think it's very important that people, do exactly what you've done, which is, use the products and get your own experience and your own confidence in the products. And that's really one of the key building blocks really in doTERRA, is to use the products and get your own experiences. So that's fantastic. So, well, thank you for sharing that, Coriine. So there you go. So if you're not on LLV, TerraZyme and PB Assist, those are the three that I take. Interestingly enough, I take exactly the same. I take all three. I take the full LLV dose. Do you take the full dose, Coriine?
No, actually, I don't now. I started out on the full dose.
Yeah.
And I was taking the full dose just in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember I was, I read all the posts and that sort of thing, and somebody was talking about taking it in the morning, half in the morning and half later on in the day. So I thought, oh, that'll be interesting. I'll try that. So I took half in the morning, and then I'd invariably forget to take the other half in the afternoon because it was out of routine. And
Yeah.
I felt exactly, I still felt fine and that sort of thing. So I thought, well, I'll carry on with this then. So that's what I do. So I mean, you can probably tell I've got a bit of a cold at the moment. So I've when I remember, I've upped the dose just to help me get over the cold. But then I'll go back to just having a half dose. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, lots of people do that. I'm aware of that. I actually take the full dose. I take 6 capsules in the morning and 6 at lunchtime, and then I take the TerraZyme 3 times a day, and the PB Assist. I only take the PB Assist in the morning, actually.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But, okay, brilliant. So that's really good information for people who may be new. If you haven't started using the supplements, it's really, really effective in all kinds of ways. Actually, it's really interesting that your eyesight improved. That's kind of a surprising one. But we've had lots of people say that LLV and TerraZyme and PB Assist as a combination have affected all kinds of things, like eczema, for example. I've heard people say because the digestive system affects all aspects of health. I believe that people should seriously look at supplementing the diet because it will underpin your attempts at getting better health. So thank you very much for that, Coriine. Excellent information. So, so some really good product testimonials there. So we've had Mandy Coates on Deep Blue, Belinda on Deep Blue, and also Melaleuca and Frankincense and Oregano, and then Coriine on LLV, TerraZyme and PB Assist. And of course, don't forget Ali on Balance. So what I want to do now is I want to go to Kevin Thomas, who I think has got some information about some books. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thanks. You?
Good. Yeah, just very quickly, really, just on, I think, some of the things that are really, really important for your doTERRA journey from a learning perspective. And I think a lot of people perhaps coming into the business, maybe coming from the corporate world like myself, and perhaps sometimes that means that people are used to being trained. And like, right, we're going to go on a course, we're going to go and do the course about whatever it is. You come off with a certificate, and really what that training course is about is a day or a couple of days off work, where if you're okay in your job, you pretty much don't have to answer your phone. If you're worried with your job, it's 2 days where you've got to worry about your job and a training course. And there's not a lot of training that really goes on, or not a lot of learning that really goes on. And I think the key thing for me in my career, but particularly within doTERRA and network marketing, is you've really got to be open to learning for yourself. So not, being taught at and talked at as a bit. This is a little bit, but actually opening your mind up and to learning for yourself and going out to find the information that you need. And loads of that is on these sort of things. So coming along to every Wednesday evening, and to the training event in Stratford, but also in the books and stuff that are recommended. So there's a bunch of recommended books, and people will talk about them all the time. Once I think you've read GoPro and a couple of those other books from the beginning about network marketing, from that, I think the key book from a network marketing perspective is Dare to Dream and Work to Win, by Dr. Tom Barrett. I've got that in book, in audio. I think I've actually got it in CD, but it's also on MP3 and in my car and all that sort of thing. So that's it's a book that you want to study and keep going back to, and so that's a really key book. If you've read like GoPro and Beach Money and books like that, you start to get into the real sort of nuts and bolts of how the industry works and how you can work the industry. Then from a health perspective, particularly this was, doTERRA has been real news to me in terms of not sort of relying on the doctor and that sort of thing where we would have gone previously, and understanding that actually this is real science-based, evidence-based activity, rather than perhaps how I might have previously perceived it as a bit of mumbo jumbo that other people got involved with, and it was all placebo effect sort of thing. So it's really good to have that science basis, but then you want to go and learn about that and put some of that science into action. So the doTERRA websites are great for that, and you can get to the peer-reviewed studies. But then you want to look around at some of the health information that's out there, if you like. And I think two of the books that have been most interesting to me, but there are loads, are the Blue Zones book, Dan Buettner. And I'd love to hold these up, by the way, but I have these all on Audible. So I'd just be holding up my phone screen. Probably isn't of interest.
Audible's
brilliant! Someone's got that one for me. Excellent.
Yeah.
And Coriine, thank you. Superb. Absolutely fantastic book, and there's got 9 principles in there you can just use at a practical level to start to influence your health. And then another one that was absolutely fascinating to me was Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep. And that I think is a really core sort of health book for people understanding their health and getting to the real deep, the real deep part of that health pyramid, and getting that knowledge into your brain and actually executing it so that you do feel better. And I can only back up the things that you were saying about LLV. And I've recently started TerraZyme on top of that, and actually that how much better that makes you feel as a whole is an incredible product. But on top of some better health habits now that we're developing because of those books. And then it's not one that's mentioned, but I think one of Ali's key skills particularly is her ability to relate to people. And I think one of the cores to that is understanding who you are as a person. And we've lived by this book, Personality Plus, by Florence Littauer. I mean, when I say lived by, you can probably kind of see how destroyed it is, because we've done. There's a little test in it, so you can do the test and learn what of the 4 main personality types you are, or what your biases are, and then and how to relate to the other personality types and how you might use those. We've done this book with our family. We've done the test with our friends. We've laughed and joked about it, and it's with lots and lots of people. It's a fabulous book, but I think it also just helps you to understand a bit more about where you come from and how you present yourself, and then perhaps how others might receive that information and how they might take it. So I'm powerful choleric. In the book, go and read the book. You'll find out what that is. It means I'm pretty direct. I don't really mince my words. There are some others on the call who are like that. Actually, I was thinking of you now. I'll be direct. But Al's more a popular sanguine type, more fun and bubbly type, and actually she's probably one of the best mixes of that there are, and she's got a real good balance across the personality styles. But learning and understand that is transformation. Is real transformative for your relationships. But that information wouldn't come in unless our minds were open, and we'd gone and read the book and gone and understand it. And that's the information that people can talk about, and we'll talk a little bit about there. But actually what you've really got to do is go and read the book. Do you know what I mean? And go and do the tests and go and do those things and do that as an ongoing thing. And I think it's a testament to Neil, his bookshelf behind him. That's a bookshelf that I envy. I've got a boatload now, and one of the disadvantages of Audible is you don't get to fill your bookshelf. But apart from that, it's very, very, very time effective. So when I'm stuck in the car on the, sort of roughly once a week, I get a sort of 2-hour drive down to Hereford and back. But that is 4 hours of learning, which I'm now listening at double speed. So it's 8 hours of learning, and it's incredibly good use of your time. So. Yeah.
There is one for parents too, if anybody's struggling that in a similar way with behavioural issues or attachment issues or anything like we briefly shared at the beginning. There's one for parents. Incredible.
Yeah, it is. I recommend both, actually. I've got both here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks, Kev. So just to summarise, there's a few really good little tips there from Kev. I think he said to kind of start with GoPro and beach money and books like that, but then move on to Dare to Dream and Work to Win is a book. Actually, it's one of the few books that really changed my perspective on network marketing. I read it many, many years ago, probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, maybe, but it really did change my perspective significantly. And I think if people did study that book, it would make their journey in doTERRA a lot more straightforward. Yeah. So I absolutely agree with you. And you also mentioned placebo. You mentioned placebo. Placebo is a very interesting area in pharmacology. In people taking conventional medicine, the placebo effect is often overlooked in that. Actually, it's quite interesting. But the blue zones, I actually read the blue zones way before I got into doTERRA. It was a present that I got for Christmas, and it is I've read it a couple of times now. And I dip into it, but it's a really, really good book. And then finally, Why We Sleep, I've talked about a lot, but the final one that you mentioned, Personality Plus, is a really, really good read for anybody that's building a team, or even just dealing with customers, actually. If you're in any kind of interaction with people, that book will help you. And I think the reason why I recommend that book is first of all, you have to understand yourself, and your own strengths and your own weaknesses, and once you become more self-aware, it makes it easier to deal with other people. I think that's really that's what I want from Personality Plus. So thank you very much for that, Kev. Some really good book recommendations there. So thanks for that. And then we're going to our last speaker, last but not least, Mr. Peter Rea has an update for us. Peter.
Neil.
Are you receiving?
I'm receiving you loud and clear. Do you know, my dad used to say to me, son, I love you, but I don't like you. And he used to say that to me, and I was like, you can't say that. I was like, surely you. And I never used to understand what he meant, because when he said to me, I was quite young. And it really is picking up on Kev and Ali talking about, like, you know, Personality Plus and Florence Latour, and I've read the print of that as well. And you say I was a completely different personality type to my dad. And what used to happen was my dad, when we were out, when I used to order a steak, if the steak wasn't cooked right, I used to say to the people, excuse me, the steak's not cooked the way I like it. And my dad used to shrink, and he used to say, son, you're embarrassing us, will you stop it? And I was like, Dad, it's a steak, it's fairly expensive, you know, and you know, they ask you how you want it cooked. They haven't cooked it the way that I want it cooked, so I'm going to let them know. And my dad used to feel that I used to embarrass him. And when he used to say to me, you know, son, you know, I love you, but I don't like you, what we really identified was that we were just so different in personality types that, you know, that he used to get really quite tense when he was around us, because he used to worry what I was going to do or what I was going to say, or if I was going to make him feel uncomfortable and things like that. And if you think about it, if you relate that to business, when you've actually got increased tension, you've actually got reduced cooperation. So if you really want to help people to be able to, you know, if you want to be able to get what you want, you know, then you really have to find ways to be able to reduce tension. And when people are more comfortable, people who are more like themselves. And that's what Kev was on about. But when you study the personality types, what happens is you get to recognize certain traits. So, for example, Neil, if I come back to you, I'm sorry to digress here, but it's such a fascinating book. I wanted to pick up on it, right? Now, there's some people that when I walk into a room, I will go over and I will throw my arms around them and give a big cuddle, because that's the type of person I am. But when I come into a room with you, Neil, I don't do that, because I know that your personality is not quite as, like, you know, arms around, cuddle, give us a kiss, I love you millions. And you're just a little bit more reserved in that respect. And I have cuddled people like that before, like that, if you know what I mean. And I felt them resist a little bit, and you can tell that it's not quite them. And if I make them feel uncomfortable, then I'm less likely to have cooperation with them. So anyway, it's a whole study in itself. But yeah, it's a brilliant book, Kevin. And I couldn't resist the opportunity to say that, Neil. And when I see you on Saturday, I'm going to give you a big hug anyway.
Oh, I can't wait.
Do you want it? Anyway, I just want to give you a little bit of a business update, if I may. Now, for those people who haven't been following the stream of information about HubSpot and Rebtel, you're really not going to get a lot of value out of what I'm saying right now, because we haven't got the time to go into all of the detail. But I do want to give you a little bit of an update, and hopefully, if nothing else, it'll encourage you to do that, okay? Because we're constantly refining things a little bit and finding ways that we can reach more people, get more cooperation, and get more people onto Zooms. And of course, we've got the ad pool now, where we're getting leads coming in internationally, and of course, now, we're looking at it and think, how can we improve the results? Well, with these two particular systems, it really does make a difference. Now, it only makes a difference if you, not just by knowing about it, by understanding it and by implementing it, and by giving it a little bit of time for you to start and see the difference that it's making, okay? So HubSpot and Rebtel. Now, so let's start with HubSpot. It's a systematic approach to dealing with prospect inquiries where you have obtained an email address, okay? And there's a video, there's a series of videos actually that have been recorded, and one of them by David Miller, an excellent video. And the first video is this one, okay? And it's actually, the heading of it is HubSpot New Prospect System and Templates. And it actually explains why we do what we do, what you're going to need to be able to have and have in place to be able to take full advantage of it. Okay, so I'm going to time to go into it all tonight, but if you haven't already watched that video, then please do. Now, at the end of this call tonight, I'm going to email into the group a document where all of these videos and everything that you see on the screen right here, right now, is in one place on one document with all clickable links. So no like, oh, well, where's one video, where's the next video, until we get it onto the resource website, okay? But in the shell of a note, this is a very orderly way of when an inquiry comes in, that you send them an email. When you send them that email, because through HubSpot, we can track if they've opened that email, okay? And then we have a second email that we automatically send them the following day, okay? And then when they reply back to us or we have any communications, within HubSpot, there's a note section where we can keep good notes, and we can have a good record of exactly everything that we've discussed with them, where exactly we're at with it. And we can see whenever they've opened any of the communications that we've sent them, okay? And that puts us much more in control. But we've created a selection of 5 templates where you don't have to think about it, you don't have to think about the wording, it's got all the clickable links in there that you need. And as you'll see as we go through this, you can see exactly what they are, and by implementing this system, you're going to get great results. And that's exactly what's happening, for many people in the team now. So that's the first video to watch. Okay, there's a second video that then, so the first video, if you like, overviews about the whole system, the whole ethos behind it, why we do what we do, the benefits, the functionality of HubSpot. So you're really going to get it by watching that first video. The second video is perfect, because you're then going to think, I need to download that. I need to get that connected. And this video explains just that, okay? How to download it, how to connect it to your Gmail account. If you haven't got a Gmail, it says get one, okay? And it's free anyway. And so is HubSpot, by the way, and get it all connected up. And David's video explains that. And you can just click on the image or the link, and it'll take you to that video. The third video is me giving you an exact step-by-step, this is me setting up a template. Click here, click there, paste this in. This is how to add the image in of the oil class. This is how to be able to create a clickable link. This is how to do this. This is how to do that. So it's all in there, nice and easy, and you will be able to watch that, and it gives you all the information that you need. In addition to that, there's also the 5 different templates which we've created as a document. And when you click on the document and you scroll down, it's got each individual email, and it also has the messages that you can also send to people on WhatsApp, which is like a little bit of a secondary and a supporting thing that we do. just in case the person hasn't received the email. Okay, it alerts them that we've sent it, and to perhaps check the junk folder or the spam. Okay, so a series of 5 templates with the accompanying WhatsApps. Okay, and again, you can click on the picture there, you can click on the link, and it'll take you directly to that. Okay, now there is one thing that I think we may have overlooked to mention in all of the videos. Okay, and sometimes when you've done all of that and you go to send an email, if you see along the top bit there where the blue arrow is, top left, and it says templates, sometimes if you go to send an email and it doesn't show, as soon as you go to put their email address in where you put the email, if it doesn't immediately show you that where you can click on templates, it means, okay, that you need to download the Hubspot extension. Now, I know that sounds a bit double Dutch for people who haven't been keeping up with this, okay, but you just go onto Google and put in Hubspot extension, okay, and then click download, and you'll notice, if you look top right, and then a little orange circle will appear with like a little white spider in there, so to speak, okay, and that will appear. And you'll also notice that the little template box appears as well, and that connects it all together, okay. So if you just go into Google and just click on Hubspot extension, and then you just click download, it's instant, and as soon as you download it, it just, all of a sudden, the little icon top right appears, and then the little options that you have underneath the subject matter where you can just click on the template, okay. So it really, really is fairly straightforward, okay. So that's Hubspot. So just a little bit of an update on that. The other one is, because we're now getting international leads, this is a great way, an absolutely great way of being able now to ring international leads. Now, some people think, like I did, surely you cannot have unlimited minutes to ring in, let's say, Australia. Unlimited, get out of it. Yes, yes you can. Okay, and loads of other countries around the world. 56 countries to be precise. All of the countries that we need to be talking, for sure. Okay, it's amazing. And I use it every day. And it is so simple. So you just need to go on, do it on your phone, put in Rebtel from the App Store. It'll pop up. It'll ask you to put your phone number in. You'll put your phone number in. You'll get like a little PIN number. It'll beep out on text. You put the little PIN number in and just follow the little step-by-step process to downloading it. Now, when you do download it, looking left to right, okay, so if you look at the far left one, when you open it, you've done it, and you put your details in, but you get a week free anyway, but it'll ask you to put your card details in so that it can take the £5 payment, which is for the month, okay? So once you've done that, then you can kind of go in. And this is actually, each one of these columns here is actually a step-by-step of showing you what it looks like when you go to make a call, okay? So it opens, now if you've got contacts in your phone, you can just search a contact, okay, and then you can see them and you can just press on it and off you go. Now, let's say you didn't have them as a contact in the phone, so you started inputting the number like that, okay? If you notice, top left, it's tiny. If you're on a little screen, you'll not see this. Top left, you'll see your little Union Jack, okay? If you just click on the little red arrow on the little Union Jack, it brings up all the countries around the world, and it automatically puts in the dialing code for you. It's flipping amazing. How many of you have ever thought to yourself, I'm not quite sure what the dialing code is for there or anything like that? It gives you all the dialing codes, which is just amazing. Okay, so let's say it was somebody in, you know, Angola or whatever, and I'd click on that. I'd put the rest of the number in if it wasn't a contact, and then I'd just like press the button, and it would just appear on your phone like that, just like it. I mean, that's exactly how it appears on my phone. And then I just put it on speakerphone. It's not Wi-Fi, okay? So you get to speak to someone, and it's just like you ring them on your normal phone, you know? So really fantastic. You know, for people who haven't got really like a very good package on their phone and they don't get many minutes, forget about ringing internationally. I'm talking about in the UK. You could literally just go on, get that £5 a month, and you can just ring like unlimited minutes. It's amazing. So I don't even hesitate at all about that. In fact, I'm actually, it's 9:30. I've got to ring someone in New Zealand. I'll be ringing on that. All right. So, you know, so it's fantastic. And that's the point as well. When other people are like, when it comes to the end of the day, and it's like, you know, getting a bit too late to ring people, you still ring people in Canada and America and New Zealand, flipping heck, it's there, like in full throttle. So, like, if you wanted to, now you might not be bothered to, but if you wanted to, you could do. I choose to, by the way, okay, because I want to build a global business, see? So that's really just a little bit of an update on Rebtel. So if you're holding back and you haven't downloaded it, get it. It's amazing. I use it every day. And I was holding back as well because I didn't quite understand it. I thought, surely not, but it's true. So that's basically what I wanted to share. But I'm going to put this presentation into the group tonight when I finish. And it'll be one link on a document. And when you click on it, it'll open a document and it'll have all the different hyperlinks in there for you to click on in the systematic sequence to be able to get HubSpot up and running and working for you in your business. Okay, so that's me done, and I'll pass you back to Neil. Cheers, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you, Peter. Really good. But definitely get Rebtel and HubSpot. I use it. I've had calls with people in Brazil, in Portugal. It's really easy to use. It's really, really good. So I think what I want to do now is just thank the speakers. Actually, there's some really fantastic speakers tonight. It's really nice to hear, by the way, from new people and people that we haven't heard from before. So if you do have some really good product experiences, like we've had some fantastic ones tonight, but I'd like to thank Mandy Coates, Belinda Mould, Coriine Peacock, I don't know if I missed someone else, Ali and Kev, obviously, and Peter. I've missed something. I keep thinking I've missed someone out now. I think that's everybody. So thank you very much for sharing your product testimonials. Just quickly to say that if you haven't booked your own ticket, please book your ticket for Stratford. We have over 150 people booked into Stratford this Saturday. Really looking forward to seeing everybody. But if you have people in your team that maybe haven't booked, maybe reach out to them one more time. We did send a final email out last night, but people can still book the event. So if you have people joining, for example, in the last couple of days, make a point of inviting them down. It's well worth it. So thank you very much to everybody who's spoken on the webinar tonight. And if you do want to speak in subsequent webinars, just speak to your upline premier and tell them that you've got some experiences you want to share, and we'll get you on. It's great to hear from different people each week. So I want to finish. I think we can now go back to the video with Kevin Ali.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
We've taken some tips from Andy. So
excellent.
Hopefully.
Very good idea. Okay. So
if not, we will share it in Stratford. It'll be like a release special.
Here we go.
I've got my technology person helping here because really I rely on him for all technology. And has to be a special release.
No, hold on.
Try once more. If not, you're going to come to Stratford to see it.
Come on, Kev, you can do it. You can do it. No pressure.
No pressure.
Not actually cracking.
Oh.
Maybe it's meant to stay.
Here we go.
This is better.
Kev, the screen looks like a blue wallpaper at the minute. I don't know whether you need to stop the screen share and go back in and do it again.
Okay, go. If not, it's going to Stratford.
Yeah.
Go. Love it. So much. Just 6-year-old 3 minutes.
Oh man, got easy.
Wait to end.
Oh, giving up, Kev, the night? Not going to happen.
I haven't even got controls at the moment.
No. There's no
Saturday.
Okay.
All of